Boris Johnson is warning EU chiefs to back down this week over their hardline fishing demands or face a no-deal Brexit. Government sources say the Prime Minister wants the bloc's negotiators to drop their insistence on no change in access to UK coastal waters next year ahead of this Thursday's EU summit. He could be ready to walk away from the trade talks if the fishing row is not resolved in time for the stock take on progress in the negotiations by EU leaders in Brussels. A senior government source said, fishing is one of the major divisions. EU chief negotiator Michel Barnier is understood to be on the brink of a climb-down over fishing rights, but some European governments are still pressing him to stand firm on the issue. He is due to hold informal talks with Mr. Johnson's Brexit envoy Lord Frost in Brussels today in the latest attempt to make a breakthrough in the negotiations. In a phone call to Paris on Saturday, the Prime Minister told French President Emmanuel Macron of the urgent need for the EU to recognise that the UK will regain full control of its territorial waters when the post-Brexit transition out of EU rules concludes on December 31. Following the call, one of President Macron's ministers yesterday predicted the trade talks will continue beyond next week's summit and into November. Clement Beaune, a minister for European affairs in the French government, said, there needs to be an agreement in the coming weeks. That means around the beginning of November. We must not lose our calm in the final days of negotiations because that is sometimes when bad concessions are made. France is a leading member of the Coastal 8 group, which is digging in hardest on the fishing issue. A UK government source told one Sunday newspaper, we need an end to the attempts to manipulate the process that the EU side have unsuccessfully used to try to generate tactical advantage in the negotiation. It's absurd that the EU are using such obvious tactics to filibuster and run down the clock. Ultimately we must stop treading water, otherwise we will simply drown.